We are back here in the world of sidebar sister wives conversations. So, this is a clip of Kody meeting up with Christine and David. We're going to get to that. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about from this recent episode was the fact that Robyn is now trying to sabotage the relationship of Aurora's relationship. She's now saying that they're moving too fast and that that Aurora needs to find herself first and become this independent woman, and that a man is not to be a financial plan. And I'm just like, ma'am, have you looked in the mirror behind me? Have you looked in the mirror? You have made Kody your financial plan. So much so that Kody is now on a apology tour. He's trying to quiet down the other sister wives to boost his image so that he can get more gigs like special forces. He said it that his goal is now to retire Robyn from reality TV. Robyn doesn't want to work. She doesn't want to do it anymore. So now Kody has to find another means of income. Sister wives have left. So with them talking about their experiences with him and how negative he's been with them and their children, he now has to quiet these women. And the whole goal is for him to quiet the women. It's not for them to accept the apology. It's just to throw a band-aid over it and make it look like to the public, look, I tried. I tried to apologize to these women and they didn't want me to they didn't want to accept it. Um, you can't say that I didn't try. I want it on record that I tried. But the apology is not genuine. The apology is very disingenuous. He isn't interested in anybody's perspective in these apologies. All he wants, he kept saying during the conversations, that here, listen, take this apology, get this healing. He's got in his mind that the women still need healing, and that him, the man that caused the hurt, can give them healing. And Christine made it very clear in her confessional, and she should have done it in his face, which she never does, that I'm healed. Me talking about my experiences with you isn't me not being healed. It's just we're on this show and that's what we're paid to do. We broke up and now people want to know what it is that happened. And I'm telling my side, you can tell yours. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that doesn't mean that I'm not healed. She even said that it was her responsibility to handle her healing, and that she handled her healing before she committed to David. She wanted to be healed, and that's what she did. She did the work. And I think Christine did some therapy. But Kody, he thinks that because they're talking about him, that they're not moved on and they're not over him, and that him coming to apologize will give them healing. And David and Christine listened to him stumble over his words, say a bunch of nonsense, try to convince them that the experience that he had with them, because he loves to say experience, that the relationship and the life that they had together was beautiful, and that it had its ups and downs, but ultimately overall was it a beautiful and amazing experience. And he was trying to like convince them as if he was a salesman that, listen, you're gonna understand my side of what I thought of it, and that's gonna be your truth, and you better accept this. And he's like, right, right, it was a good experience, right, Christine, right? Like it had its up and downs, but it was a good experience. Like he was trying to force it down their throats. So anyway, Christine and what's his name, David, listen to him spiel away, and then David finally does the mic drop. He finally says what we all been thinking. Come on, David.
Advice, just a little bit. Start with your kids. Show that part, because the women have moved on, but
Tell
your
him,
kids
David.
still need to heal. And that's the part that you need. And I'm just saying, to be honest with you, because I had to do it with my own kids. And trust me, I butted heads. Oof.
And David tried to give him some game. Like he acts like David doesn't have just because David doesn't have 13 biological kids doesn't, or yeah, I think it's 13 biological kids, that he, because he doesn't have 13, that he doesn't have the experience with children. David has 8 children that he raised a good amount of their lives as a single parent. So he's well abreast in how to deal with children. He has relationships with your children and he hears the size of their things. He hears their side of the story when it comes to how Kody had treated them. And Kody should listen to them. He wants to diminish what David is saying and saying that he's only been with Christy for 2 years. I've had her for 25 years. Kody, you've had her for 25 years, baby, but you don't know her. You didn't listen to her. You didn't care about her feelings. All you were focused on was you and Robyn. That's all you focused on. And even though Robyn came in at the 16 year of your relationship, she did a lot of damage and you focused solely on Robyn. and you neglected your wives and their children. And so he's quick to shut them down and doesn't want to hear anything. And that's the problem with him. He hasn't learned a thing. And he just, the whole point of him coming here, he was adamant that everybody needed to understand that he wasn't here to apologize to David. He wasn't here to apologize to his children. He was here simply to apologize to Christine because he wanted to shut her down. He wanted to quiet her down. He wanted to hopefully manipulate her into believing that he was sorry and that she would quiet down and stop the bad press that she's giving him. And he immediately turns nasty and he doesn't understand that everything that he tried to do in this meeting, he pretty much diminished it because of the toxicity that he displayed here.
My whole purpose here is to apologize to Christine, not to David, not to anybody else. At this point, it's to apologize to Christine.
Can I give you?
And that's his problem. That's his biggest problem. He had this vision in his head, these lines that he rehearsed, and he was hoping that she would accept it and accept it on camera, and that would be the end of it. He didn't have any intention on really fostering a relationship with her because then there was a conversation of Moed and David wanting to bring him to Moed and trying to connect with him through Moed with Christine and him and trying to foster a relationship, and he shut it down. And so he's just so he's so disingenuous because then he goes and meets up with his friend in Vegas because that's where he met Christine and David, and he tells them that, I'm apologizing, but I'll never trust them. And it's like you don't even want to have a relationship with them because then he makes a comment of, I'm hopeful that we could have a cordial relationship. And David called him out for him, was like, why hopeful? Why not? Let's, try it. And it's because Kody doesn't want to have a relationship with his children. He doesn't want to have a relationship with the wives. He just wants it on camera, on record, that he tried to send the olive branch. He was rejected. You see, guys, I was rejected again. I've done this on camera and off camera. Now it's time for me to move on, and I don't have to accept any accountability for what I did. He just doesn't understand that life doesn't work that way, and that you can't just put a apology band-aid on something and then just be like move on. He did a lot of damage, and he really needs to go to his children, like David said. Anyway, tell me what you think. Do you think David was wrong for even speaking? Because Kody seems to think that he was wrong. I don't think so. And some people in the comments seem to think David was wrong. But he invited David to this. He wanted David here. So, and also, Christine's a married woman, and that's the man in her life. That's the one's helping her raise Truly. So he has the right to be there. And you just talking at him, Kody, that's not fair in a civil dialogue. That people should be able to get feedback just as much as you want to spill your ideals and get your perspective heard. They should be allowed to tell you some insight. And I respect David for telling him, like, dude, the women have moved on. It's the children that need healing, and that's the truth of it. Anyway, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you leave 5-star rating, and y'all have a good night.